Developed, created, and owned by James Poeartistry Productions. This is a James Poeartistry consultant moment. The subject I want to talk very briefly about happens to be Peter Singer, Ordinary People Are Evil. That's a video that I just put on the homepage in the reading section or Poeartistry reading section of the website. You can see it if you go there to the homepage now. And the reason why I want to be brief about it is because it's very interesting because all through the night last night, really, I was thinking about this subject, and yet Peter Singer, this thesis or this presentation is being given by Jeffrey Kaplan about what Peter Singer wrote about in his paper, and it pertained to being morally obligated to do something. And to such an extent, he basically was saying, if you're morally obligated to do something, you must do something. And it seems like he was saying you can be made to do it or what have you. And he was actually branching that out all throughout the whole society of the world. Okay. And so Jeff Kaplan was breaking down what supererogatory mean. And it basically means things dealing with good acts on how you can take care of famine because you are affluent or you have a lot of money, and because it's the right thing to do to help others, even the poor. But the point is, it's super obligatory because of the fact you don't have to do it. It comes from the goodness of your heart. And the point is that being versus the obligation to actually do stuff. He was making the argument again that Peter Singer felt the whole society should be changed in order to focus more on the moral obligation to do what's right. Okay. And that's all I'm going to say on that, because I really want to get to what my reaction to the video within the first 5 minutes, because he had already really made his argument, and I can just see now for the next 30 something minutes, he's just going to expound upon it. But I just wanted to say this right quick to you about really the spiritual view of it. And it's the time period that we live in, Perceptive Readers. It's the time period that even Jesus lived in. Remember, all of those laws and commandments, or really those principles that he mentioned with, I think about the commandment of you must love your neighbor as yourself. And especially, the first one, you must love God with your whole heart and whole soul and whole mind. He already knew every single one of even those principles and statements that went along with that on being a morally upright person. Not everybody was going to do those things. Not everybody was going to give to the rich. There are actually, not give to the rich, give to the poor and things of that nature. And the thing about it is, he still didn't really always focus on that. He just still told you what was the morally right thing to do. And see, and if a person chooses to do that or not, then that's between them and God. And the reason why I really want to emphasize that I had several other scriptures come to mind and scenarios that will really prove my point on my final decision or judgment on this matter. But you know what? I'm not going to share those. And you know why I'm not going to share those? Because paying me for my consultant, you see, this is more than spiritual what person's talking about here. No, this is actually something that's still dealing with the regular mundane things of life, the handmill, my wages. If you're talking about, once again, creating a system for your workplace or what have you, I get paid for that. And so this is not some super obligatory thing that you should be paying me for what I'm stating here. That, just option, a good thing to do. No, it is really obligatory. Like say, I'm using the word they used, but the point is, it's more than morally upright. This is actually something that is built into even the laws of the land. You see, even dealing with overtime on why those such laws came about, that if a person worked over this many hours in such a week, they had to get paid such and such money. See what I'm saying? So the whole point is, it's more than morally upright to pay somebody according to their wages. You see, this is not a charity type thing. It is actually, once again, their handmill. And so with that being said, I'm in my conclusion about what Peter Singer, Ordinary People Are Evil, that paper, and he was basically saying it was evil because they can watch the famine and all that stuff like that go on and not do anything about it. Here it is. I'm going to just give you one scriptural principle. Even though, and you can find it, even though when the Christian congregation started, God did talk about, or how Paul emphasized how, the ones who have more should, give to the ones who don't, to have a equalizing effect, you see. But remember, he was still talking about in the spirit of love. Because at the same time, even though Paul gave that a command or suggestion, depending on the way that you're looking at it, still the reality was also in effect that God loves a cheerful giver. So God didn't want anybody to still be given to something that they did not want to give to. You understand? God did not want anybody being, turned up in their face or what have you, tight-fisted holding that $1 bill because they don't want to give to help their own brother and sister who they should be loving and they know they need it. You see what I'm saying? So the whole point is, the principle was there on what Paul was talking about, and the ones who had the good hearts and the spirit of the matter, or they would give. And then the ones who didn't want to give or what have you, then that was their choice. But there wasn't going to be some morality police that come and knock down their door and mind rape them. Did you understand that word? Mind rape them and things of that nature, because they would not give to their brothers and sisters. And see, that just goes to show you something else today. I want to really emphasize. Remember, something can be morally wrong according to your good book or my good book of God, but it still doesn't mean that they are breaking any laws of the land just because they don't do it. Do you get the sense of what I'm saying? All right. And see, and I can tell you something else. When persons cross the boundaries in that way of trying to make something that would be supererogatory, to make it obligated, in this time frame that we live in, guess what? Then they in themselves become morally wrong, morally unacceptable. And yes, in some cases, even breaking laws of the land to uphold their so-called rafter in their eye, but they're worse than the person who they're claiming is a morally despicable person. Have a good day, Perceptive Readers. You have just listened to the Perceptive Readers podcast. Remember, until next time, if you read something that encourages you to improve or enhance your life for the better, it becomes your reality.